in is just, I don't know, I think it's just different levels of feeling foreign in different places.
There are, yeah.
It's a mess in here, and this is something I do not want to pick up. All of this. Plus, it's a little dirty over there too. Ugh. Packing sucks.
같이 잠겨버렸어 Some like you do Just you 너의 눈 너야 숨겼지 마음속에 갇혀있지 그대로 헤엄치고 싶어 You're quite talks You're quite talks My baby 너 만지고 싶어 네 말투에 잠겼어 좋아 그대로만 You're quite talks Oh yeah 만지고 싶어 내 품에 날 안겨줘 Loving your quick talks, yeah 다시 돌아가시면 된다는 말이 내게 말야 얼마나 큰 용기가 필요했는지 알아 Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah 속에 걸렸어 닦지 못한다는 날들이 좀 너무 많아 언제까지 정도밖에 안 될런지 말야 가슴 깨버렸어 Some like you do Just you 너의 눈 너야 숨겼지 마음속에 갇혀있지 그대로 헤엄치고 싶어 You're quite talks 너 만지고 싶어 네 말투에 잠겼어 좋아 기다리면 quite talks Oh yeah quite talks 너 만지고 싶어 내 품에 날 안겨줘 Loving your quick talks yeah
I need you in the frame.
Oh, I'm not in the frame?
No. Yeah. Okay, so hello friends. I assume you just finished watching the vlog, the last episode of my vlogging in Korea and Japan series with the adventures of Joy and Maddie. And yeah, anyway, so today this part of the video is just going to be a recap video, kind of like explaining a little bit about our experiences, our fun times, and then anything else that comes to mind. So yeah, so and I do have a list of questions prepared for her. She doesn't know what the questions are, and as a matter of fact, I don't remember what the questions are either because I wrote these like a month ago. But
okay,
yeah. So the first question is, I know it's been like 3 months now, but how does it feel to be back?
saddening.
Saddening?
Because responsibilities came back and hit me in the face. Instead of gallivanting around town, I actually have to do stuff.
Yeah, same.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, it's kind of like, well, I mean, we are working adults, so like you go from like traveling, having fun, like not really caring about anything, not really paying attention to time or days, and then you come back home and you're like, well, gotta work, gotta go do this, gotta go do that.
Gotta cry.
Yeah, gotta go cry.
Lunch breaks.
So next question is, what do you think was your biggest takeaway from this trip?
Ooh. Like takeaway as like, what did I learn from this?
Anything.
Oh.
So just whatever, I guess, stuck out to you that you feel this trip gave you.
This trip gave me a new sense of like love. Like, cause like throughout like our trip, I just felt like I was like, oh my god, look at all these places. This is like so cool. And then when I actually got there, I was like shooketh. Like you cannot describe how many times she had to pull me out of the fucking street because I almost got hit. Yeah. So
Nice.
And just a general appreciation, I guess. I don't know.
I think
There's so much.
Yeah, there's so much that we did in like the short amount of time that we were away. But I think for me, a biggest takeaway was the fact that, you know, I feel like I pushed myself out of my comfort zone a little bit because there's no way in hell I know anything in Japanese. Like, I could have gotten lost and that would have been the end of me. But like, we did it, we went, and I think for me that was really cool. Cause like, you're at home, sometimes you're like, maybe I should go do this, but then you don't do it, and then it's like, why not? I mean, we already went across the ocean, so yeah, I think that was my biggest takeaway. Would you go again?
Oh yeah, for sure. Even though it didn't seem like I was really into Seoul, I was really into Seoul. I was just like baffled how completely the city lives were different between the two cities.
Yeah, and I don't think I need to say yes, but yeah, I would go again.
You're like, yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything you miss about either Japan or Korea?
I miss how we didn't go clubbing when we were in Hongdae.
Oh yeah.
Granted, that was kind of like maybe like my biggest thing was because I was like still kind of like in shock, and like I didn't seem like I wanted to go, and the crowds kind of freaked me out. But then I'm like, but they clubbing now. I mean, that was the only thing. Other than that, the trip just gave me everything I ever wanted.
I think what I miss the most about being abroad is like the cafe culture, because I love going to cafes, and there's nothing like that here. I mean, she's drinking coffee bean, but like cafe culture is just different. Like,
yeah, like we were in Japan and like we went to that little like manga cafe with the nice food.
yeah, cue the clip. Yeah, anyway, so I think that's the one thing I miss most. Next question is, what is one thing you could bring here from either country that would make you feel more satisfied about living your daily life here?
What I'd like to bring? I would like to bring rails. I would really like the rails, even though like this is like a not really big city, but I still feel like it'd be necessary and a lot easier on the gas tank.
Oh yeah.
If we can, especially like little Pasmos where they were like applicable to like vending machines too.
That was cool.
And convenience stores. That was very nice.
Yeah, actually I think I would have to agree with you. Like, cause it's just cheaper and more convenient to just like go from like different rails or different, like even just buses too, cause you could use those cards for buses, not just the rails. So I think that's one thing I would want to have here, even though granted we are a smaller city, so I mean,
We don't necessarily need it as much.
We don't really need it as much, but even then I think it'd still be nice. So, you know, maybe we had like 2-3 main lines that you could like transfer in and out of. Yeah.
It was fresh.
Fresh.
It was fresh.
Ooh, I like this question. And I wrote this question, but I like this question.
Okay.
What country do you think fit or matched your personality better?
Japan for sure.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Japan for sure. I don't know.
Why?
Just cause like, how do I put it? I feel like that was where I got the most like lost in, like mentally, I guess. Like it was more like, just like the like, it's so like bright. Well, not bright, but like it's more like, I don't know. I felt like a breath of fresh air when I went there too. It was just, I don't know. I was just
Like it didn't feel like overwhelming, like urban overwhelming.
Yeah, because we were in like, well, maybe because we were like by a shrine or whatever, like in like a little neighborhood, but like it just felt like free, and I can't really describe how I feel about Japan. I just felt like, wow, this country is real. I mean, I know it's real, but like, I mean, like, I'm actually like touched down in it.
Yeah.
And you are?
For me, I don't know. I like both. Cause they're similar in some ways, but different in other ways. And like for me, I feel like I'm kind of all over the place as a person, and like the things that I like. So there are certain things that I feel matched me in Japan, and certain things that match me in Korea. So I don't really know if I could pick one, but I felt a little more comfortable in Korea just because I can read Korean and I know like basic stuff. So I wasn't as lost as I was in Japan. But
I was lost in both places.
yeah, but I don't know if I could pick which one would fit my personality better. This one we can get a little more into, like. So okay, this question is, so obviously neither one of us are Korean or Japanese. So we immediately kind of just tend to stand out when we're in these countries, you know, regardless of who we are. And in your own perspective, as a person of color, who sometimes, I feel like we both kind of sometimes deal with this, I don't know if crisis is a word, but crisis of identity, even in our home country, because we're both mixed. So how do you think being a foreigner in a different country made you feel? Or like, how would you compare that, how you feel here? Or like, what would you say makes you more comfortable, like being like a foreigner in a foreign country or being like a foreigner in your home country? Like, how does that dynamic change how you feel or what you think about your identity?
I have an identity crisis wherever I go. But like, as far as like a foreigner in a foreign country, like I'm kind of used to it because in my mom's country, I'm a foreigner too. So I'm kind of just like, oh, people look at me, but I'm like, that's cool. Like, I'm minding my business. But like, maybe that's just because like that's like my home, well, not my homeland, but like I'm more familiar with that culture more so than the other two, that I'm still like adjusting kind of. Whereas like here in America, I don't really feel like so foreign, but yet I kind of am. But maybe that's just because I just speak the language, so I'm just like,
You're right.
I feel like language is a big part of it too, because I don't speak fluent anything.
Well, you speak English.
Well, yeah, that's why I was like, except English, I don't really speak fluent anything else. So
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe that's just like what ties me to my homeland better. But I'm just like, I feel like I'm a foreigner everywhere. So I'm like, it's okay, it's all good. It's all good.
Interesting.
How do you feel?
I think for me, I tend to blend in a little more than you do, especially in the area that we live in.
Yeah.
But even so, I think just talking to people, when I meet people, because I'm not fully one thing, sometimes it's like, oh, I can relate to you, but other times I can't. Or sometimes I feel like I have a different perspective of things and like I can't really get across to other people. So I think being here, I feel that all the time, so identity is kind of like a weird thing for me. Like, even though I get to at least kind of blend in. But I think what you said about language is like very important, just because you can communicate with everyone.
Yeah.
Or most
conversations,
people, yeah.
you can get around.
Yeah, so like it's just a different way of like comfort, you know, where you feel like, oh, I belong here because everybody else speaks that, or at least the majority does.
Yeah, that's mostly where it's at.
Yeah, so at least for me, I think being foreign is just, I don't know, I think it's just different levels of feeling foreign in different places.
There are, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't think I stuck out
Too
much.
No, not too much.
But maybe I'm just short, so people don't really notice me, which is all good.
I don't know.
I don't know. But yeah, I think that's, yeah.
Maybe just because you're short.
Yeah, maybe. So if you had to choose one, which one would you immediately be willing to visit in a heartbeat?
Tokyo. And again, this goes back to me, like, just like feeling like some kind of connection. I don't know. It's just really weird. I just really, I don't know. There's something about it.
It's almost like, not necessarily like a second home, but something that you just find comfort in, that you like going back to.
Yeah.
I think for me, I would want to go to Tokyo again, just because this time I know what to expect. So I can go and like explore more, whereas in Korea I've been there twice, so like even though I'd like to go back again.
I thought it was 3 times.
Twice.
This one twice.
Yeah.
Wow.
So even though I've been there and I'd like to go back again, I think I've seen at least the city part of it. I've seen a good chunk of it. I haven't seen everything, obviously, and I haven't seen the countryside or anything, but like, you know, I think I've seen enough of it where like if I went somewhere else, I'd appreciate that more. Okay, next question is, what advice do you have for anyone planning to visit Japan or Korea?
Actually study the language. Like, learn basic terms. Like, because you're gonna need it.
Yeah.
You're gonna really need it. And it does not work out well when sometimes they don't know what you're saying. So you have to use like common words, big words.
Yeah, I'd have to agree.
Sense of direction. Well, not really sense of direction. Well, maybe if you've said like your destination, then they'd be like, oh, okay. But like maybe it's just like, say like, excuse me, where's this? Or like, oh, like, can I have that? Or where's this? Like stuff, like questions. Learn questions.
And responses, because then you're gonna get a response and you're gonna be like, wait, what? So I don't know, I guess, yeah, basic
questions and responses.
Yeah. So like, yeah, so you kind of have a sense of direction. I think for me would be based on my experience, even though I've kind of gotten around without it, was like a Wi-Fi, like a Wi-Fi egg or Wi-Fi pod, because I don't have service outside of this country. So like with my phone I can't use it, and it's not because I want to be on social media or anything, but it's just because like when you have service you can look up maps and you can look up places to go.
Prepared.
Yeah, and you can be prepared and you can plan trips and stuff, whereas like for us we would go out and then we had a plan, but then if we wanted to do something else we'd have to like make sure we could go somewhere where we could get Wi-Fi. So we could like move on to the next place, because otherwise we'd be lost, we wouldn't know where to go. So I think that's what I would recommend. Also, don't forget your toothbrush.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Don't forget Q-tips.
Adapters.
Adapters are useful. Adapters for like your electronics. Is there anything else?
I'm thinking.
I think language should be like the main.
And then like,
oh, and prepare your luggage accordingly. If you're planning to bring stuff back with you, make sure you have room for it. Make sure that you won't have to pay extra, or if you're willing to pay extra, I mean, that's cool too. But yeah, just make sure you're prepared with your luggage and know that if you want to bring back stuff, or, you know, make sure that you have room for it, or that you have enough weight in your stuff.
Don't exceed your weight.
Yeah. I guess my last and final question is, any final comments you would like to share or bring attention to?
Any final comments?
Or any kind of advice, or any kind of thing you recommend they do or go see?
What else is there? Just like you said, pack accordingly. If you plan on bringing stuff back, then like bring the adequate luggage or whatever. Learn your language, even if it's just like the basic questions and the responses to said questions. Yeah, and just explore. Because some things are better when they're not planned, but then also like kind of stick to a plan. So you can be like, oh yeah, we're going shopping here, but look at this like temple over here. Like, you know, plan too, because I lack plan. She plans. So
Exhibit A.
you're like, do you think I'm kidding?
I'm not kidding.
A teleprompter?
Not a joke.
No. Itineraries can be your best friend sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, just know yourself. Study.
You make it sound like this is a infomercial for like education or something.
Well, I mean, I'm staying in school. I'm trying to educate them on traveling. Because it's my first time abroad with my family, so I didn't have anyone to plan for me.
I think for me, my final comments is
Have fun too.
have fun. Have fun. Explore. I mean, I think you should go with a plan in mind, but I mean, you don't have to stick to it. Just something to kind of give you an idea of things to check out.
Just get an outline.
Yeah, that way you don't kind of like end up missing out on like something that maybe you would have wanted to see and you didn't know about it, or you didn't have time for it. So
Yeah.
language is important. Again, reiterating it.
Study.
Yeah, just kind of study a little bit. What else? Also, if I'm assuming most of my viewers are Western viewers. If you are a bigger person, like me, yeah, like I'm short, but like I'm not like skinny, so like if you're a bigger person, don't let that deter you from going shopping.
Okay. Yes.
And don't let it make you feel like shit, because different ethnicities, different races of people, we all look different genetically, so I mean,
They all have different standards of beauty too.
yeah, that too. So yeah, just because I know I went to a store, we went to that one store with like, I don't know, the one that
The one we're in Jersey.
yeah, where they had like the skirts and like a whole bunch of like t-shirts.
yeah.
And I looked at the skirt and then like I was like, oh, this probably fits, and I thought about it, and then the shop owner was like, oh yeah, you fit, it stretches, and that kind of just like my self-esteem my self-esteem just kind of dropped, and I was like, well, all right, moving on. So yeah, so after that, kind of just was like, all right, don't feel like shopping anymore. But I mean, don't let that get to you. I still ended up buying stuff in Japan. We both did.
Yeah.
Bought a lot of things actually.
Also, money.
Oh yeah, your finances. Make sure that you have enough.
Make sure they're in check.
Yeah. So that
Budget
you
accordingly.
Yeah, budget accordingly. Make sure that you budget enough for like food, enough for like shopping, enough for like things like tourist attractions, because not everything's free. Make sure that you have enough for like travel expenses within the country you're going to. So like rails, buses, or whatever your taxis. Yeah. So yeah, budget accordingly.
Budget. Yeah, that was a big lesson. That was a big one.
Yeah, I came back home with a couple dollars. Well, more than dollars. I came back home with some money. Let's just say that. So
Yeah.
for me, I budgeted really well, and I didn't go over my budget. So for me, it was good.
I didn't really either. I was just paranoid about me running out.
Yeah. So yeah. So I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I don't have much else to say. I think this concludes my series.
This was an educational video.
Yeah, educational video.
Educational tricks.
Because I like to educate people. I do. I'm not gonna lie. I do. I like working with kids.
She really does.
But yeah. So, anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed my series. I do have more videos coming soon. Some stuff that I haven't gotten around to editing yet, but will eventually. Yeah. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. A camera's too far.
You're just gonna add that like at the beginning.